your boy Ruddle Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, and we're here to present you our NBA Live segment for Wednesday, January 30th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. And if you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the website here at dfscheatsheet.com. Say what up, Jay? How you doing, man?
What up? Wednesday.
Today looking like a solid day, man. I like today's slate. I think there's some pretty obvious spots to look at on the slate. And yeah, man. So I mean, real quick before we jump into this, hey, we want you guys, any questions that you guys got, hit us in the comment section down below. We literally do this segment for you guys. This is something that me and Jeremy do every day. We talk on the phone, going back and forth on who we like, who we don't like, kind of how we construct our lineup. Hey, we want to get on here and have you guys ask us your questions so we can help you guys out as well, and we can all brainstorm. So make sure if you got any questions, hit us in the comment section below. Also, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button down below. Helps me out. Really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, man, so hey, what's your thought on today's slate, bro?
Hey, one thing to add too, like, hey, we're on here for 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 at the most. And if you got questions, like, they don't have to be slate related, but if you got questions that are also about like how to play or what's cash or you first time watching the channel, pop those in there too, man. We're here to help. This is the point of the day where we're done with our research and we're pretty much just trying to get our entries straight before lineup lock happens. And there's an opportunity to help you guys out any way we can. So any question you got, man, drop it in there.
Yeah, hey, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a stupid question for sure. So, hey, what you think about today's slate, bro?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I'll just quickly talk about, recap the core that I put out for my GPP core just to kind of start this off. So, the core that I put out, if you didn't watch the video, it's over on DFS Cheat Sheets YouTube channel. You could check that out. It should be up on our website as well. The core I put out was De'Aaron Fox. I think he's a solid play today. With all the attention on Terry Rozier and all the value of point guard, I think Fox is kind of the staple that I wanted to build around there. And then shooting guard, I went with Doncic. I went with Doncic over Drew Holiday just because I think it's a great tournament pivot, and I think a lot of ownership will gravitate to Holiday based off what Holiday did last night. One thing we got to take into consideration with Holiday is he had 6 block shots last night. That was 18 of his 54 points. We can't expect the guy to block 6 shots. We can't expect him to probably score more than 19 points. So it could balance out, but Doncic's a guy I thought would be lower owned. Barton and Joe Ingles were 2 guys that I kind of went back and forth over for the core play. I like Ingles as a late piece. He's had some success against Portland. Good price, 5.8. But I went with Barton because we get the opportunity to load another point guard in the lineup. With Murray out, he's listed as a small forward. That's Barton. He should handle the basketball and play the point for them. Power forward, I listed Millsap. I don't think that there's a player on New Orleans that matches up with him. Solomon Hill's probably the closest thing. They got 3 perimeter players plus Drew Holiday as a true, point guard that they've got, and then obviously Okafor. And then I went again with the pivot. I think Okafor will be owned, highly owned. So I followed that up and went with DeAndre Jordan. Same price, pivot off him, Madison Square Garden. I like the combination of Doncic and Jordan going against the Knicks. And that's kind of where I was at with that core. So if you want to recap maybe, your cash core, or we can get into whatever you want to next.
Yeah, so I mean, on the cash core, I just, I went with, I think Rozier, even though he got the price bump, I think that he's still a really good play. And yeah, I mean, I threw Drew Holiday in there. I think Drew Holiday is going to be really high owned. I actually threw a curveball in there, Jay. Me and you talked about this a little bit earlier. And so I actually went with in my core was Rozier. I went with Holiday. Hey, Jay, I went with Doncic as well. I think you could fit Doncic and Holiday in there pretty easily today, and I think they give you a really solid floor. And then I rounded it out with Will Barton and Miller as well from the Pelicans. The guy Miller, he's cheap and he's playing a ton of minutes. So that's really where I was at with my core. Real quick, I got a question for you, man. I mean, what is your honest opinion on Jahlil Okafor? I think he's going to be pretty popular tonight. For me, I mean, the second in of a back-to-back is scaring me a little bit. I mean, what do you think about that?
Look, let's pop open real quick while you ask that question. Let's just pop open their roster and take a look at where we're at with it, right? So, I mean, outside of him, they got Diallo. Diallo could get some extended run tonight because it is a second in of a back-to-back. Wesley Johnson, we've seen. He got a little bit of run last night. Tim Frazier, Ian Clark. Okay, so tell me where the other big guy is that's going to come in and run heavy minutes for Okafor. There's just Diallo and Williams. Williams, he got some run as well. So those are two guys, but they're both power forward. So I mean, I can see Okafor getting the minutes tonight, and he's played really well. The jump hook and has really been working well for him over the last couple games. The little, 6-foot jump shot, that's kind of where he's making a lot of his hoops from. And then, of course, he's getting rebounds and he's blocking some shots. The block shots also is what's helping him out. Owned, I agree with you. I think he's going to be owned. It's a very, very, very chalky spot, to be honest with you, because the guy's played so well coming, recently. I got to tell you, though, man, the more that we get into this slate, the closer we get. And I've got some, about 20 lineups left to build in the $4. And I'm probably going to go with Jokic in 100% of those. I just feel like Jokic may be the guy that gets overlooked because it's 11-2 and you can fit a lot in there. And there's another guy that you could fit right around the other side of it, and it's Frank Jackson. Look, I mentioned Frank Jackson to you last night. I sent you a text and said, just remember three guys, right? Kadeem in New York, Sumner in Indianapolis, and then Frank Jackson in New Orleans. And Jackson's a guy that last night when I look at cash games and I see him 10% owned, I was like, whoa, I can't believe this dude's 10% owned. How many people even know who the hell Frank Jackson is? So tonight, he went out last night, he put up 18 fantasy points. There's a lot of people who now know who Frank Jackson is because he was on TNT last night. And I bet for the first half, they're like, who the hell is this guy that's rebounding? Who is this guy that's getting, buckets? But it's Frank Jackson. And because of him and Rozier, I could totally see Rozier, Frank Jackson in a lot of lineups today because of the run he's going to get. And the same guys are out.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I get it. I definitely get it for sure. I think tonight, honestly, I think it's pretty clear cut. I mean, it is what it is. So Arturo, real quick, I'll get into some quick questions. Arturo wants to know power forward, $5,400 or less. Arturo, he said 54. Honestly, you probably got to go Millsap. If you can find the extra 100, go with Marcus Morris. If not, I think Millsap is probably your best bet for somebody under $5,400. Sorry, I'm just trying to get through the questions.
One thing, let me hit on that real quick. Let me just pop up in FanDuel and let's just take a look, right? So if we go to power forward and you talk about $5,400, right, you start at Derek Favors. So, do you want to play Derek Favors against Portland? If you want to in tournaments, I guess it's not the worst play in the world, but, compared to the upside of Paul Millsap at 5,000, Bam's going against Chicago. Bam's probably under the radar play that I like a lot. I'm not going to play Marvin Williams against Marcus Morris and Jason Tatum. I'm just not. Jeff Green, we liked a lot last night at 4.8. So there's three guys, and then probably the fourth. If you want to take a shot on James Johnson, fine. But Taj Gibson at 4.3, I think against Memphis. JaMychal Green, game time decision. And I know that I haven't seen news yet. Jaren Jackson still a game time decision with an illness. So Taj Gibson, that could be a nice little cleanup spot. A shot in the dark would be is Gorgie Jang on FanDuel? He's only a center, huh? He's a center. I was gonna say Zhang, but Zhang could be another play, tournament play only. So I hope that answers your question. Jeffrey, what's up, man? We'll say what's up to you.
Hey, real quick, hey Jay, do me a favor. This guy actually asked me yesterday. They want to know the difference between a value play and a punt play. So if you could break that down for me, I would appreciate that.
So I don't really think that the pump play on FanDuel is relative anymore for the simple fact that now there's a drop spot. So,
but just in general, like they just wanted to know in general what was the difference.
A value play is somebody that has that they're overpriced or underpriced, right? So you're looking for what the value is. So an underpriced player based on his recent performance is a value play. A lot of people will say that it's just a value tier play, like who in the value tier do you like? I don't like to classify it that way because I don't look at it as who I'm going to load up. When I build lineups, I try to figure out who's the lowest price guy and the best opportunity that I could put as my number 2 play. So to me, a value play, a true value play, is somebody who is outperforming their price tag over their past 5 to 6 games. That's a value play. Their value, what they're actually doing is the value, and what they're worth, their price, don't match. And that works both ways. There's overvalued and undervalued. So to me, a value play is a guy like Paul Millsap tonight at 5,000, who I think is a little bit underpriced for what his opportunity is, and two, what his ability is in this particular opportunity. So, there's a lot of guys that are underpriced in this slate, so there's a lot of value. And then from the value tier, that's probably the next piece of it. Value tier would be guys that are $5,000 or below, that value price range, where mid-tier would be kind of 5,100 to 8,900 for me, and then 9,000 and above would be the upper tier, the Park Avenue tier. A pump play, though, off of that is a guy you just want to punt the position. Like, I'm gonna punt. I'm gonna take whoever.
I'll give you an example. A guy who I think is a punt play tonight is James Johnson for the Heat. I mean, he's 3,900. We know this guy has 40 fantasy point upside. He's pretty cheap, almost minimum price. He hasn't really been getting the necessary run, but last game he did get 29 minutes compared to the previous 4 or 5 games he was playing 20, 22 minutes. So I mean, 3,900. He could be your drop spot, but at the same time, he's a guy that if he does get minutes, that he does have 40 fantasy point upside.
You just said it right now, and that's why I don't think a true pump play exists anymore. It's a drop spot.
Right. No, I get you. But I understand exactly what you're saying about there's not really a true pump play anymore. I'm just in general, we say that a couple of times, I guess on yesterday's video, and I got that question. So that's why I just quickly wanted to just touch bases on that question.
Yeah.
So my question, I have one more question for you. Actually, I'm coming with what's your thoughts on Jaylen Brown today?
I don't have a problem with Jaylen Brown. I mean, take a look at what Jaylen Brown's done in the games that Kyrie Irving has been out. He's been a beneficiary and of price adjusting. Marcus Smart, he had a huge game, 50 fantasy points, and his price didn't go up much. I think it went up $500. So of the 3 people that have the opportunity to fill in minutes for Irving, Brown's the most underpriced and fair price of the 3.
Yeah, no, I get you. I think he's a really good price, but I feel like he's not really going to hurt you. For sure. Bro, yeah, I mean, that's really the slate. I think it's a really easy slate, to be honest with you. I mean, there's more games.
Say less things. Doncic is going to be extremely high owned tonight. That's crazy. That would strike me as odd if Doncic was higher owned than Holiday.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that Holiday will get the higher ownership because, I mean, he's pretty much the team right now. He's the one that's the engine driving the car, basically for New Orleans right now. I mean, they have him playing freaking almost 40 minutes a game. So yeah, I definitely think it is going to be a Holiday. But like I just mentioned in my core video, I think that if there's a lot of value out there, there's some good mid-tier plays that you can actually try to fit both of them in if you would like as well. I think that's a pretty good strategy for today.
I built a lot of lineups, including both of them. You can see one of my lineups right here that I have on the screen. Actually, I mean, this is my placeholder, but it's a lineup that I'll play. I'll leave it in. The first lineup I make usually off my gut the night before. I usually leave it in just to see what it does. But this was my gut. I'm probably a little bit more off Taurean Prince tonight because Bazemore is going to come back and he's going to be limited 20 minutes. Even though he's limited 20 minutes, that does take a little bit away from Prince. It just will.
But one thing I will say about that, though, is I don't know if Prince is directly going to be the one to get affected. The reason I say that is, I mean, going into the season, Prince and Bazemore, they were the starters. They were the guys that were playing 30-plus minutes a game. They both got hurt. They've been out for extended run, and that gave guys like Hoarder and guys like Bimbre. Those guys got opportunities with these guys out. But to start the season, Bazemore and Prince were starting at shooting guard and small forward. So what I think is going to happen is both of those guys are going to end up reclaiming their starting jobs.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is there's only 48 minutes in a game and you've got so many players, and
right.
It will impact Prince a little bit.
I get you, but you get what I'm saying though? Like, does that make sense a little bit?
No, I absolutely get what you're saying.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I think maybe not today, but in the long run, it's going to be the other guys who were getting the opportunity. They're going to kind of get pushed out the rotation. So, man, I think if we got any other questions, let's get to these questions. If not, I mean, I'm ready to get up out of here and finish up these lineups.
I got one right here that says Aminu Millsap or Bam from Israel. So, Aminu, I'm okay with him in tournaments. I think he'll be a lower owned play. I love exposure to guys in the last game. I don't mind him. But the best player of the three, I would say I would rank it as Millsap will be the chalkiest. Bam maybe has the best opportunity, and then Aminu is like your off the board contrarian play.
Yes, I got a question from Jeffrey. Better value, Darius Miller or Jabari Parker? For me personally, I'm gonna have to go with Darius Miller. The guy is just getting, I mean, pretty much all the minutes he can handle. He plays some defense, shoots some threes, and the guy's been definitely crushing value for us. So I would have to go with Miller over Jabari Parker.
Yeah, I mean, look, did anybody see Jabari Parker going off last night? Did anybody see Jabari Parker going off last night? So if you saw it, then you're outstanding player and keep playing Jabari Parker. But if you didn't see it, that's the point. Like, we don't know what the hell is going to go on in Chicago. We do know Darius Miller is going to play tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I like Miller there. I think he's a really good value play for sure. So I mean, I think we pretty much wrapped up all the questions.
I got a ton of questions in here, bro.
Oh shit. Say less said, y'all just skipped both of my questions. Say less. Anybody want a head to head tonight on DK? Rozier and Doncic will be high owned. I know why Rozier, but why Doncic? What's his narrative? I like Doncic. I just think that he gives us a solid floor. And I mean, there's not really too many guys to pay up for. You don't have the Hardens, the Giannis's, the LeBron James or Westbrook's on this slate. I mean, the only really pay up spots are really just at center today. If you want to go with like a Jokic or a Nurkic or a Towns, but outside of that, I mean, there's not really no pay up spots. I just think that Doncic gives us a solid floor. And one thing about Doncic that I've noticed really quickly is, you know, Doncic, he likes the bright lights, and what brighter lights are there? What stage is there higher than Madison Square Garden tonight in New York? So I definitely just think that Doncic is going to have a really good game in Madison Square Garden.
That's the narrative. That's the narrative is that he's playing in Madison Square Garden. The human element to that is, you said it best, the pay-ups, right? So you're looking at Doncic and Holiday. By human nature, people like to get the most expensive player on the slate in their lineup or at a position. So that's two elements. The third is his production, man. I mean, look at his last 6 games. 3 of them he has upper 30s, and then he's got a 61.4, a 58.6, and a 49.2. So on a slate, on a slate limited, you combine those 3 factors, and that's going to equal ownership. My gut doesn't tell me he'll be higher owned than Jrue Holiday, though. I could be completely off base, but that my gut tells me Jrue Holiday will be the higher owned guy.
Yeah, no, I honestly would have to agree for sure. Last question. I'm going to let you handle this question because you were actually talking about the guy with me yesterday. What's your thoughts on Wayne Selden?
He's starting and he's getting run. I mean, he's playing a lot of minutes. You know, that's it. But tonight, you haven't heard me. I mean, just in our conversations, have you heard me mention him one time today? And how many times?
You talked about him yesterday. That's the only reason I kind of do this.
Yeah, but my point is that yesterday, the way the build went, he was really good value yesterday. Today, I mean, and today, you know, I'm playing him today just for the simple fact that I liked him yesterday, didn't do anything. So I just, as my own rule, I'll roll the guy again. But I don't like him today like I did yesterday, and that's because the build's different. You can fit Doncic and Jrue Holiday, and the value is really a point guard. I mean, you can literally, if you want to get aggressive in tournaments, you can play 2 $3,500. Actually, you can play a 36 and a $3,500 point guard and just load up the rest of your lineup. That's on the slate today because you got Frank Jackson, you got Kadeem Allen, and you got Edmund Sumner in Indianapolis. You could also talk about Aaron Holiday, who's going to get run as well in Indianapolis. So Indianapolis Pacers got 2 really cheap guys. The build for Wayne Selden is not there for me tonight because the value is in other spots. And we're talking about small forward where the highest price guy is $7,000.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll definitely agree. I'm not on Selden personally.
Israel, my gut tells me that it will be Doncic with Jokic tonight. That's kind of what my gut tells me, and that's kind of based off where the slate's going and ownership and kind of the things that I'm seeing. I think that I'm a little bit worried about Jrue Holiday going against Denver, and I'm a little bit worried about Will Barton getting Jrue Holiday treatment. I'm a little bit worried about those 2 things, but in cash games, my gut says they'll be so high owned that they'll control the money line. But in tournaments, I think that you may be able to get away without having Jrue Holiday because of the opportunity Doncic has at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely agree. I like the bright lights kind of narrative for Doncic today. And at the end of the day, the Knicks aren't a good team, so I expect Dallas to win that game. And if they're going to win that game, Doncic should definitely have his handprints kind of all over it. So, hey man, I think that's about it for us. Don't really got any more questions. Um, Bayless is a good play if Rose is ruled out for sure. That's just something we're kind of waiting on right now, news wise.
That's the thing, though, right? So if you take a look at it, you've got 5 or 6 guys. You don't have to go get Terry Rozier in tournament today. Like, you don't have to pay for Rozier. You don't have to build that way at all. You've got Bayless, and I mentioned 3 other guys, and I'll even give you Tim Frazier. Tim Frazier had 29 fantasy points last night in 20 minutes. So look, there's plenty of ways to build this slate today, and you don't have to go. And here's a great example of you could be as chalky as you want at every single spot, and you have a position like point guard where that's got the most versatility in it tonight. Just being different with the way you build point guard, even if it is Rozier and then Clark, Rozier, Frazier, Rozier, Kadeem Allen, even if it is that way, that could win you a tournament tonight.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's going to come down. I feel like tonight is definitely going to really be a chalky slate. So it's going to come down to, those 1 or 2 guys that are a little bit lower owned. Are they going to push you over the edge, or are they going to hold you back from going over the line? And I mean, that's really been the trend the past month. There's a lot of slates are really chalky, and you have to get those 1 or 2 spots that you're differentiating yourself with. You really got to hit those spots right, or you're just going to kind of be killed. That's really what it is when it's chalky slates. So, hey, man.
One other thing to add that just came out is Tony Parker is scratched tonight. He's been ruled out. So another low pay down spot will probably turn into Malik Monk. He's been playing between 12 and 15 minutes. He played 22 minutes the other night. He should get some extra run today with Tony Parker now ruled out. So there's that piece.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, man, I think that's about all we got for you guys for our NBA Live segment for today, Wednesday, January 30th. Thank you very much for tuning into this video. If you guys got any questions, definitely hit us in the comment section down below, and we will be around for the next 30, 45 minutes. We will get to those questions as soon as possible. If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Outside of that, hey, that's all we got for you guys. Thanks very much, and good luck tonight. Peace out.